Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. It's a little bit different than it usually is because normally we're here for a winter program. But you will see tonight, as our new music instructor comes out, Mrs. Hinkle, she probably won't be here at Christmas time. She's expecting her baby here sometime in the middle of November. So instead, we decided to have a fall program, which we're kind of excited about. Hopefully, parents understand too that it's kind of nice to do it a little bit in the fall. So that way, around the holiday time, when it gets really busy, there's one less commitment for you as a parent or as a family to get together for, or you can squeeze in some other things as well if you need to. Would you mind giving Miss Hinkle, our new music teacher, a big round of applause as the kindergartners come on the stage?
Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to have my first concert here, and it is much earlier than we would have normally expected. But as you might be able to tell, I am expecting, so we couldn't have our typical December concert. And in a few weeks here, I will be spending some time at home, and they'll get a maternity sub here for me. But we've learned so much so fast that we just had to show it off. We couldn't miss the opportunity. As you listen tonight and watch their beautiful gleaming faces on the stage, I'd like you to think about 4 things that are our goal. They're the national art standards: to create, to perform, to respond, and to connect. And I'll try to point out which one of those things we're touching and tell you all about how much your students have grown just in this very short amount of time. Could you welcome our kindergartners to the stage? Now, my kindergarten friends have been focusing really hard on 4 voices. Can you show your grown-ups your 4 voices? Say, this is my speaking voice.
This is my speaking voice.
This is my whisper voice. This is my calling voice.
This is my calling voice.
Now, bobbleheads, do we make any sounds that hurt voices or ears?
No.
Ooh, some of them even remembered to bobble. And say, this is my singing voice.
This is my singing voice.
We're going to show those voices off for you a little bit more.
Doggy, doggy, where's your bone? Somebody stole it from your home. Yes! Doggy, doggy, where's your bone? Somebody stole it from your home. Doggy, doggy, where's your bone? Somebody stole it from your home. Oh, mine's getting late. The second one said, there are witches in the air. The third one said, but we don't care. The fourth one said, let's run and run and run. The fifth one said, let's have some fun. Woo with the wind and out with the lights. And 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight.
We love incorporating some of the old classics, things that I learned when I was a kid, and folk music truly is the best way for kids to learn because it's in their natural environment. So speaking in rhythm and doing nursery rhymes, things that you all probably grew up with too, it's still alive, it's still one of the best ways to teach music, and it can still happen anywhere, not just in my classroom, but on the playground, it can happen at your house, it can happen in the car. Music can happen anywhere. And now our students are going to show you a little bit of that rhythm of the words. We can find long sounds and short sounds in our music.
Peter, Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife that couldn't keep her. Put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. Peter, Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife that couldn't keep her. Put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well.
As we switch to our first graders, I have to put in a little plug about music that has lasted through the decades and literature that has lasted through the decades. As you might know, the Central Springs High School is putting on the musical Seussical this fall, which is coming up the weekend of November 11th, 12th, and 13th. And if you enjoyed Dr. Seuss books as a kid, or if you're like Mr. Carlson and you're a Dr. Seuss fanatic, this is a show that you don't want to miss. It's not a long show. It will have an intermission, but it's something that every elementary schooler would enjoy and be able to sit through with you and relate to all of the characters. It's truly something that's heartwarming, and I get to be a part of that backstage if we make it that far with the baby. And I'm really looking forward to seeing those high schoolers in action. But for now, we've got some first graders ready to come show you their skills. I'll talk about that rhythm of the words a little bit more. First graders have developed those long and short skills, and now we're working on other differences like high and low. You'll see them use their body signs like the kindergartners did. You'll see them perform in a way that kindergartners haven't learned to do yet, and that's why we like to go in order from youngest to oldest, because you'll see that growth of skills and that growth of maturity in the kids. Please welcome our first graders to the stage. Miss White. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Betty, and her last name was White.
Miss White had a fright in the middle of the night. Saw a ghost eating toast halfway up the lamppost.
She lived next door to a nice family with a baby. One day, the neighbor called to ask Miss Betty White to babysit on Friday. Betty asked if it would be okay to bring a friend. The neighbor said that would be great.
Miss White had a fright in the middle of the night. Saw a ghost eating toast halfway up the lamppost.
On Friday, Betty and her friend Barb went to babysit. They had a nice time. Soon it was time to put the baby to bed. They tucked the baby in his crib. Then they decided to make some popcorn and watch TV. All of a sudden, they heard a noise in the baby's room. They didn't know it, but a ghost had appeared in the baby's room. Betty said, "I heard a noise. I'll go check on the baby." She stood up and headed to the baby's room. As Betty walked to the baby's room, the clock tick-tocked on the wall. The kitty cat shuffled through the house. The microwave signaled the popcorn was done. And the ghost flew back and forth.
Miss White had a fright in the middle of the night. Saw a ghost eating toast halfway up the lamppost.
Betty opened the door to the baby's room and saw the ghost. The ghost looked at Betty and said,
What should I do with my fingers and my lips?
Betty was so scared, she jumped right out of the window.
Miss White had a fright in the middle of the night. Saw a ghost eating toast halfway up the lamppost.
Barb said, I wonder what happened to Betty. I'll go check on Betty and the baby. She stood up and headed to the baby's room. As she walked up the stairs, the clock tick-tocked on the wall. The kitty cat kept shuffling through the house. The microwave signaled the popcorn was done again. And the ghost flew back and forth.
Miss White had a fright in the middle of the night. Saw a ghost eating toast halfway up the lamppost.
Barb opened the door to the baby's room and saw the ghost. The ghost looked at Barb and said,
What should I do with my fingers and my lips?
Barb was so scared, she jumped right out of the window.
Miss White had a fright in the middle of the night. Saw a ghost eating toast halfway up the lamppost.
The clock tick-tocked on the wall. The kitty cat kept shuffling through the house. The microwave signal the popcorn was done again. And the ghost continued to fly back and forth. With all the commotion, the baby woke up and saw the ghost. The ghost looked at the baby and said,
What should I do with my fingers and my legs?
the baby said, I know. The ghost was so scared, he jumped out the window.
Miss White had a fright in the middle of the night. Saw a ghost eating toast halfway up the lamppost.
The end. One of the skills that we need to work on after we develop our singing voice is singing by ourselves. And that's something that these students have really excelled at. And it makes it a tough choice for me when I have classes full of singers. And these singers are going to share a spooky story with you. Now remember that the special parts that these students play today might not be the same type of special part they play next time. But every student that you'll see on stage has a special part. Whether it's an instrument, a singing part, they get to participate in a game, or they can add some really enhancing movement to our songs, as our first graders are already doing.
There wasn't a little skinny animal. She went down by an old graveyard. One night she thought she'd take a walk. She walked down by an old graveyard. She saw some bones laying around. She went to the closet to fetch a broom. She opened the door and BAM!
As I mentioned, some of our students are playing games, and that's the most natural form that music took. And a long time ago, before they wrote things down for kids, they just shared it. They shared it on the playground, they shared it while they were walking to school, and so I love incorporating games. And these are things that your kids can take home. They can teach their family how to play the game, they can play with their classmates at a birthday party, and I love, love, love hearing them sing the games in the lunchroom as I walk by them, because they just can't get it out of their heads. These might be stuck in your heads at home, too. don't tell them ahead of time who is going to get picked to be the next witch. And when we play in class, it's a whole circle of the entire first grade, and it could be anybody. So the students get really good at identifying who is singing with their eyes closed. It's pretty amazing. They're better at it than I am, especially in this new job. But by the end of the year, I will know their voices blindfolded. That's how much we use them in our classroom. It's one of the best things about being a music teacher. As our second graders take the stage, you'll notice some more advanced instrument work. We'll get out our glockenspiels. They look like xylophones to you, but xylophones have wooden bars. These have metal bars, and they're small versions, which we call the glockenspiel, the German word for playing the bells. And these students will be demonstrating our solfege, our body signs for so, mi, and la, which is more than what we use in kindergarten. And by the end of second grade, they'll have expanded their solfege language from 3 notes to 5 or maybe 6 notes. That's a really advanced progression, and it hurries along. That's music literacy, just like they're practicing literacy in their regular classrooms.
We are dancing in the forest, and the wolf is far away. Who knows what will happen to us if he finds us at our play? So, la la, so, meaning. So, la la, so, meaning. So, la la, so, meaning. So, la la, so, meaning.
You'll notice we were speaking 3 languages. We spoke with the lyrics of the song, we sang with the solfege of the song, and we also had to sing the letter names on the glockenspiel. Students are often disappointed that the glockenspiel does not say so, mi, and la. So we have to translate, and we're practicing those translation skills every day in music with these second graders. Now our next song, we're going to show you a little bit of improvisation. Some students are a bit braver than others, and I demonstrate what it looks like first, and then they get to demonstrate to you what that sounds like with their voices. Selection for the second graders is a partner song. We're going to demonstrate the first song. This is the easier of the 2. challenging Pumpkin Man.
Pumpkin Man, catch the scarecrow if you can. Yes, you will, if the scarecrow will stand still.
Now watch as the second graders stack the two songs together.
Pumpkin, round and fat, turn into a duckling just like that. Pumpkin Man, dance to the scarecrow if you can. Yes, you will, dance to the scarecrow will stand still.
It wouldn't be complete without a game to go along with it. So these second graders are going to demonstrate a game that has two moving circles and a chase component.
Pumpkin Man, catch the scarecrow if you can. Yes, you will, if the scarecrow will stand still. Pumpkin Man, catch the scarecrow if you can. Yes, you will, if the scarecrow will stand still.
Our last group, the third graders, are going to demonstrate some ensemble skills. So you'll see many instruments mixed together in groups. You'll see some advanced singing patterns, and we've been working with dynamics, which means we can demonstrate soft singing, medium singing, and loud singing. The students love it when I use the Italian words and I say, I can teach you lots of Italian. So I'm going to teach the audience some Italian tonight. Would everybody say pizza? Pizza. Perfect. Now say spaghetti and meatballs. And the last one, say gelato. And you now are pros at Italian, especially over here. That was excellent. But our Italian words expand a little bit beyond that. So we're working with piano and forte, mezzo forte, fortissimo, all of the dynamics that go across the spectrum. Welcome the third graders to the stage. Will demonstrate a boarding on their glockenspiels that involves octaves. So I asked them a few weeks ago, and I said, what kind of animal has 8 tentacles? Do you know, audience? An octopus. And then this is my favorite answer so far this year. I said, and what kind of shape has 8 sides? They said, hexagon. So I don't think they quite got it yet. But after we talked a little bit about stop signs and oct at the beginning, they realized that was an octagon. So now when we have a space between 8 notes, it's an octave, and they're going to play that for you. Just like second graders did a partner song too, they're going to demonstrate some part singing. But even trickier, this isn't a partner song, it's a canon or a round. They'll sing the same song, but start at different times.
Oh, different.
game of the night. The most challenging skill. This is a passing game. We have to pass the clap around, and I asked a few of them if they played Tia Terra TTT, which a few said yes. So if you played that game growing up, you would recognize this one. They're going to try and get some of their friends out.
Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Don't you hide me. Fight! Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Don't you hide me. Fight! Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Don't you hide me. Fight!
Thank you all for coming tonight. I really enjoy working with all of your students. It was such an awesome transition to a new school, and what a great group of kids. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Carlson for our dismissal. Thank you again, and have a good night.
You know, it's always exciting for me to see some of my past students do some great things. When I was a principal in a different school, Miss Hinkle was in 4th grade. And now she's here. So it's kind of cool to see her here again. So thank you, Marina, for helping us out. And you did an awesome job tonight. Didn't the kids do a great job?